Hi, I'm a bit nervous. I don't do YouTube videos, so, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna kick it off with a question. Are we drowning in information? An IBM study shows over 90% of the data that has been created was over the span of 2 years. In the last 2 years, we make over 500 million tweets a day, and we make over 3.5 billion Google searches a day. So there's a lot going on in the world. This constant influx leads to decision fatigue. Too many choices can paralyze us. Real life examples, or famously, Steve Jobs famously wore the same outfit daily to reduce decision making. Barack Obama limited his suit choices for the same reason. Mark Zuckerberg stick to grey t-shirts to minimize decisions. And that's how I feel. You know what I mean? I feel there's so many options nowadays. You know what I mean? Here, I live in Germany. You know what I mean? We eat kebab. You know what I mean? That's one of the food, doner kebab, right? And back in the day, when I was younger, when you went to the kebab store, you could go to kebab store, get like, you know, two meats. It's like lamb, chicken, and then there's like two sauces. It's like tzatziki and cocktail. That's it. And then we could get like salad, and that's it. Now, when you go to, for example, space, a doner store, you can get like different kind of meat. Some of them have all these kinds of sauces. It's avocado sauce, chipotle, hot chili, mango curry, this and that, and then like you are overloaded with just a simple thing where you just had like 2 or 4 options. Now you have so many options, and it's like it is so overwhelming that sometimes when you try something new, let's say avocado sauce or whatever they have, right, it can lead to disappointment because now you wanted to try something new and you kind of messed up. You know what I mean? At the same time, we should try new stuff, right? But because that's just a slight example. When you greet it with so many decisions at once, it's just like, oh, and that's what happens all the time. Sometimes when I go to the Asian, when I go to eat Asian food, I just get like, let's say, some noodles, right? Sometimes they have so many sauces. It's like curry, coconut curry, sweet and sour, spicy, peanut sauce or something like that. I don't know. It used to be only 3. Now it's like 12, and it's just like, and then there's like a line behind you, and you have to hurry up, and it can get very overwhelming. And that's just an example with the food. Like, look at the decisions we have to make on other things, and there's so much that we have. And what happens is when you are greeted with so many decisions, sometimes it leads to regret or frustration. You know what I mean? Like it happens to me as well. Um, in some stores, when you want to buy cereal, you're greeted with so many options. Even a simple thing like buying pasta. That's what I want to buy pasta. There's so many options from just like buying pasta or noodles. It's like sometimes it's just like, which one am I getting? Am I just gonna go for the one that's the cheapest? Am I gonna go for the one that is like the healthier option? Am I gonna go for this one? I'm gonna go for that one. I cannot try them all. And then like it has happened to me where I have 2 boxes of like cereal or pasta or whatever, and I'm just looking at them for 10 minutes. Like I'm just comparing everything, and it's just like it's getting to a point, it's just like it's too much. It's too much. So that's a study was made in 2011 that has shown that judges are less likely to give someone parole as the day goes on. So in the early morning, they're going to be more thoughtful. They're going to look over your case and stuff like that. But as the day goes on, it just they are not looking at it anymore. Um, by the late afternoon, they give rejections just to avoid mental strain of reviewing each case. Another personal one for me is like applying for jobs. You know what I mean? I'm applying for jobs, and sometimes I have my laptop or my computer, and I will open 30 tabs. I will go to Indeed or LinkedIn or whatever platform there is, and I will open like 30 tabs of different job applications, and I will look at each. I will try to tailor my resume to each description and everything that they have. And at the end, it's like it is so overwhelming that sometimes I just don't do it. It is so overwhelming. It's so overwhelming that sometimes just don't do it. You know what I mean? I'll just end up, I don't know, play League of Legends or something like that. And it's like there's so much going on. It's like it can lead to burnout or just procrastination. Or another personal one is um, this happens very rarely, but maybe once in a while I will have a lot of messages. I'll have a lot of messages from WhatsApp or Instagram DMs, and it just comes to a point. It's just like it's so much. Even if it's just 5 messages, it is so much. I would rather just not respond. I know that sounds very like weird, but I hope I'm not alone by this. It's just like sometimes I just get overwhelmed by the number of messages I see, and I just scroll on TikTok. You know what I mean? Instead of replying, because it's just like it is so easy, but at the same time, it's just maybe I'm just lazy. I don't know. But I feel like it's like once so much happens at one time, it's just like I need more time to process it. But that's just, and with the constant notifications that I get, I feel like small decisions can sometimes come off as huge. Just like a simple message. If it's like a very simple message, if I see it, obviously I'm gonna reply. But if me and you are having a back and forth in conversation, sometimes I might just like, you know, I might just like fall back on it. And it's not on purpose. It's not because I don't like you or something like that. It's just so much goes on in one day, and it's just like this phone. It's just it's too much. I don't know. And with that, we can also get into like social media, for example. With this information overload, I'm just going to call it information overload for now, is, social media connects us, but also exposes us to constant negativity, trolling, we're comparing and ourselves to others. And with social media, what happens is social media doesn't just show us the world, it only shows us what we already agree with a lot of times. It's like an echo chamber. When we're only exposed to the information that confirm our belief, social media algorithms often reinforce this by showing us similar content. And this happens all the time. You click on one video on YouTube, let's say a conspiracy theory, I don't know, something, and then all your recommendations for the next 5 days or a week is just going to be the same topic. It's the same with me on Instagram. I like, for example, football or basketball. I engage with the post, maybe I comment on it, maybe I'll share it with a friend, and then now my Instagram, I don't know what you call the page, explore page, is going to be all with that. And then if I engage with, for example, recently it's Pop Mart and all the Labubus and whatever there is, right? that's all my Instagram feed now. I don't even have one. I don't even have a Labubu, right? And that's my content. Like, that's all it is. So like sometimes it's just we just get fed the things that we only want to see. And social media has made it easier to surround ourselves with content that shows our biases. Do you know what I mean? And that is how easy we can stay in social medias, because if I only like the boo-boos and all of this, now I'm going to see exclusive ones that they have in England and maybe in Hong Kong and stuff like that. And I'm just constantly drowning in this information. And that's what it is. So sometimes it's just better, just to go and touch some grass, you know what I mean? Because that is how, they get us. It's a trap, you know what I mean? You're probably watching this on social media platform. You know what I mean? And, it's kind of contradictory, but just watch the video, okay? Please. And, I have some examples. For example, in The Matrix, Neo wakes up from a fake reality, one that feels real but isn't. That's what social media can become, an algorithm built on illusion. So, and also in SpongeBob, episode 120, there was this thing where Squidward went into a time machine or something like that. He went in a time machine. I'm going to put like the clip here.
Where's the time machine? Where's anything? Where?
He went into the time machine and he was trapped in a white void. Voices echo, nothing changes. He had everything and nothing at once. It's funny, but it's terrifying, accurate, because that's how sensory overload works. You know what I mean? Like, we just constantly getting stimulated. And in Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation for this. In Jujutsu Kaisen, Gojo Satoru, he's the main expansion, so like one of his main moves, right? The main expansion. The domain expansion, Ultimate Void, overwhelms opponents with infinite information, rendering them as, you know, incapable to move. So like when you see him do the, you know, domain expansion, they just get so much information that they're just like, they can literally physically not move because it is too much.
領域展開無料空所ここは無加減の内側知覚伝達皮肉だよね全てを与えられると何もできずでも君には聞きたいことがあるからこれくらいで勘弁してあげる
So what we got to do, you know, as a collective, we don't have to do anything, but I'm just saying maybe find a balance. You know what I mean? Information is powerful. You know what I mean? It's powerful, you know what I mean? I use chat. Like back in the day, I couldn't even read. If I had a letter, sometimes I had to go to my mom's friend to read the letter together because like the German language can be very difficult. And we have to like see what the letter is and stuff like that. What do these people want from me and stuff like that. Now, I just take a picture of it, give it to ChatGPT. Hey, what's the best way to respond to this and that? Bro, I am my own lawyer because what does ChatGPT know what the other person doesn't know? You know what I mean? So I'm with it. I'm with it. I don't write emails. I don't write emails anymore. I don't write letters anymore. Anything is just ChatGPT. Copy and paste it, print it. Whoosh. All right, that's what it is. So and that's how it goes sometimes. You know what I mean? But that's what it is. Just as ChatGPT is a powerful tool, information is powerful. But if we don't balance our intake with everything that we have coming in from all the timelines and the algorithms and stuff like that, you know, and it's easy how to combat these things. You know what I mean? Like we can just have more offline activities. I don't know, play chess, go for a hike. Or if you live where I live, you can't really go for a hike. Go for a walk, and you know what I mean. Just maybe turn off notifications for non-essential apps. So only have notifications for your messaging apps, and then maybe not Instagram and I don't know, Crunchyroll and Netflix. You know what I mean? So we're not constantly looking at our phones. You know what I mean? I feel like phones are they're always going to be a part of our lives because now, back in the day, for example, I used to have to buy a bus pass. Everything's on my phone. It comes to a point where if my phone, like the battery dies on a random day, like if I was outside, I can't do anything because I pay everything. I pay on my phone. That's where my bus plan is. That's where my bus ticket is. If I get a bus ticket, and then that's where my maps. This is how I communicate with people, stuff like that. I remember when I was younger, I used to have to knock on my friend's door or I have to ring the bell. Now, yo, I'm outside. Let's move. You know what I mean? Let's bounce. I mean, like things are coming, and these are not bad things. You know, it's good to have these things, but at the same time, I feel like it can just overwhelm us. I mean, it can be very overwhelming. Maybe, and that's what I'll say. Maybe we should just prioritize sometimes offline activities. You know, read an actual book, go for a walk, do these things. You know, let's just take a breath. But I'm gonna leave you with this one quote here. It's not about knowing everything. It's about knowing the right thing. I'm sorry if this video looks a little bit chopped. It's my first video back since, I don't know, 6-7 years. So like, comment, and subscribe. And take care of yourself.